Endurance Junkie Podcast, episode 121. Brought to you by Precision Hydration, who offer electrolyte drinks in different strengths to match how you sweat. Personalize your hydration strategy today at precisionhydration.com and get your first box or tube of pH for free by using the code JUNKIE on the website. Hey junkies, how are you doing? My name is Peter, and thanks for joining me on a new episode of the Endurance Junkie Podcast, the show where I will be interviewing some of the fastest, smartest, and most inspiring people active in the endurance world today. And before we kick things off here today, I would quickly like to thank Precision Hydration for supporting. Now, when people talk about hydration, most of the time it's all about what and how much athletes should drink during exercise. And although these are clearly important questions, your performance is also massively influenced by how hydrated you are when you start exercising in the first place. Now, if you want to know more, you definitely need to read Precision Hydration founder Andy Blow's blog on why it's so important to start hydrated. Now, I've added the link to the show notes page so you can visit it there, or you can go directly to precisionhydration.com/blogs for more information. Now, South African Kyle Buckingham has made a fast name for himself in the world of triathlon after winning Ironman Lake Placid in 2014 in his first year as a pro, and Ironman Vineman in 2016. After a disappointment in Kona last year due to a mechanical issue on the bike, Kyle recently savored the sweet taste of victory again after winning his home race, Ironman South Africa, on his 10th attempt. Hi Kyle, thanks for coming on the show, much appreciated. Now, for those of us who don't know you, can you maybe start off by telling us a bit about yourself and your sporting background growing up in South Africa and how you ended up in Ironman?
Thanks for having me on the show, Peter. So my sporting background, started when I was 25 years old. I was living in the UK, working as an electrician. And one of my housemates, there were 5 of us, and living in a house share together. And one of my housemates was doing the Ironman, and I thought, wow, this looks pretty cool. I mean, he's like going down and cycling 180 kilometers, and he's coming off and running, and then the next day he's running 30 kilometers. And I just saw that challenge, and I've always been one for challenges and seeing and push my body and getting out there and training and just being physical and active. So that's when it all started. Bought a bike and bought some running shoes, bought a free program online, and just started going from day one. All I could do was train on an indoor trainer after working 8 hours on a construction site all day. Get home, it's dark already, dark at 4 o'clock. So got home, start cycling at about 5 o'clock and probably finish training in the evenings but anywhere between 9 and 10 o'clock at night. And then, dinner at 11 and into bed. So it definitely wasn't easy. But I think what drove me to become a professional was just, I started watching Ironman Kona DVDs every single day when I was on the indoor trainer, and I just said to myself, I want to be one of those guys running in the lava fields one day. And I looked up to Reynard Tissink was my first coach, and obviously that was a huge inspiration in winning last Sunday in South Africa. And I looked at guys like Craig Alexander and Chris McCormack. Those were 2 guys that I really looked up to and wanted to be like them one day. So my journey started then, and definitely wasn't easy, working a full-time job. And my wife now used to kick me out the bed on some Saturday mornings when it was -5 wind chill factor outside, and I had to cycle 180 Ks, and I would sometimes phone her and scream at her on the phone and say, I'm so sick and tired of this. And she used to just put the phone down on me, and so I just had to carry on fighting and keep fighting in every session. you know, day in and day out, just because this is how badly I wanted it, how badly I wanted to become a professional triathlete. It all started there, and then in 2012, I basically just got progressively better. 2009 was my first ever race, which was the Ironman South Africa, yeah, in Nelson Mandela Bay. So this was my 10th year doing it, and so that's when it all started. 2009, first triathlon, and then I went back to the UK, did a few halves, actually qualified for Clearwater that year. So it wasn't. I got in quite quick and was getting reasonably good results as an amateur already. And then the following year, just took off another hour and 5 minutes of my Ironman time, and progressively got better and better every year. And then in 2012, everything changed. I landed a sponsor that's still my sponsor today, Velocity Sports Lab, and they basically changed my life. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have become a professional athlete. Probably would still be working in London. Who knows? But yeah, so they changed my life, and everything, moved back to South Africa in Cape Town, and then everything just happened from there. Just got more and more sponsors, got better results. 2013 obviously was a life-changing year for me. It was my last year as an amateur, but got amazing results. 7th overall, I finished in the Ironman South Africa. And then, obviously in Kona winning the overall age group and still having that record today. And then decided, I was still with Reynard back then, and then he said, 2014 you can go pro. And then 2014 came along and came second year, and then won Ironman Lake Placid. So it all progressively got better and better, and I still work harder and harder every day just to get to that next level. Just because you're seeing guys like Lionel Sanders and Jan Frodeno and Sebastian Kienle, all these guys. They're so good and they're pushing the boundaries, and it's pushing us. It's pushing us pros to be to beat them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay. So you started racing at 25, or you picked up triathlon at 25. You progressed pretty quickly. I mean, you put in the effort, of course, but you had some decent results. Where did that fitness come from? Like, did you have like a sporting background back in South Africa? Or did you play any sports there, or was it just all from scratch?
Yeah, I didn't really play sports. I played the odd, hockey and cricket at school, in junior school. So it wasn't even high school. In high school, I probably played a little bit of tennis, but that was maybe in grade 8. And then I started surfing at the age of 14 until I moved over to London till the age of 19. So I surfed every single day. I put exactly the same effort pretty much into my surfing than I did into when I started triathlon. But unfortunately, maybe it was a little bit too late. I wanted to become a professional surfer first. And, I got pretty good at surfing. I even traveled around the world when I was 20 years old after working my first year in London, saving up some money, and traveled the world and saw, 7 different countries, and just surfed every day for 11 months. But I went back to London and I couldn't surf then, and so I had to find something else. Okay. And maybe the surfing helped a little bit with the swimming, but I didn't come from a swimming background, so I really had to put in a lot of work and emphasis on the swimming side.
It's kind of cool to meet somebody who's became a pro at this swim, bike, run thing without actually having a background in either three, because I think that's pretty rare.
Yeah, and I hope it helps me later on in life. So I'd like to still be racing, like Crowe is right now. Crowe's 44, and he's still killing it out there. So I hope to be like that one day.
I guess you're relatively fresh, right?
Yeah, and not picking up injuries and things like that. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise.
Maybe. In doing the research for the interview here, I also came across the fact that you raced in Belgium quite a couple of times, and the Antwerp 70.3 race. I wondered why you ended up in Antwerp, but if you said that you were living in London, I guess it kind of makes sense that you came to Antwerp. But did you enjoy that race?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, every time I did it, it rained, and
that's Belgium for you.
And the railway lines, it was pretty dodgy, but it was good. It was a fast course. I think I even went 404 in my third try there, and then they didn't have the race the following year. But I enjoyed it. I loved the lake swim and across the river. And I think it actually started at about 11 o'clock, so that was pretty cool. We got to sleep in, and which is very rare.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't do a half at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's so true.
And by the way, it's way too cold in Belgium at that time of day, so we try to get some sunlight in if we can before we start our races. So I first heard about you back in 2013 when you won, of course, the amateur division in Kona with an 8:37, which is I think still the record for an amateur today.
Yep.
What decided to go race as a pro, and how did that transition go for you?
In 2014 or in so that's one of the boxes I really wanted to tick, and that was one of the things I set myself when I first started was I wanted to become the best amateur in the world, when I was racing, and I wanted to set the course record. Trevor Delsart from France actually had the record of 8:40 before that, and I said to him, I'm chasing your record down. I really want to get it, and so that box, I wanted to tick, and then I ticked it, with lots of hard work, and I was even, I was training pretty hard back then. I mean, 35 hours a week, maybe 40 hours a week sometimes. I was still working 4 hours a day, in Cape Town in the gym in Velocity Sports Lab, and so so then Reynard said to me, next year, in 2014, it's time for you to go pro. I was producing finishing times and, running times, 2:56 marathon. I think it was the 5th or 6th fastest marathon in that year in Kona, maybe if I'm correct. I thought, why not? It's time. And I think it was the best decision, coming second here to Nils Frimald in South Africa. So that's when that started.
Okay, and the fact that you were able to quit your job and train full time, what effect did that have on your overall condition? That did have a massive effect, because turning pro, training full time, I really I could then see the consistency happening. I wasn't missing sessions. I wasn't tired. I was having my afternoon sleeps every day, which is, still have today, which is massive for recovery. You just have those extra little bits of time for stretching, for core, all those kind of things. Those definitely had a massive effect. As a professional athlete, I would say. Okay. Now, you've been coached by Paul Laursen now for a couple of years. I had him on the show a couple of months ago. But you mentioned Reynard Tissink there as your first coach. So what made you switch coaches, and why Paul Laursen?
So I was with Reynard for 2010 to 2014, and then Tim Ellerbeck after that coached me at Velocity Sports Lab. So I was with Tim, and also a running coach based out of Stellenbosch, Ernie. So he coaches Flora Duffy as well, and Bradley Weiss too. So
some pretty good names.
So I was with so then I was with Tim, and then I moved to Paul we chatted in Kona because I was having stomach issues and, I was a mess with stomach cramping and stuff. And Paul said, I think you need to maybe look at changing your diet. So I chatted to Paul, I think it was the night after the race. And so it was probably a week after then, I changed my diet. I moved to the low carb, high fat diet. I actually went more keto, especially last year. I was a bit more keto than this year. This year I've upped it a little bit, but I'm still low carb, high fat, just to produce more of that power on the bike. And so Paul's been great. We work together a lot. I've been doing the sport long enough now to know what sessions work for me. But he's also there to guide me and to see where things are right or wrong, in the training and the whole build-up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it seems to work well. And you had some pretty recent, solid years these last couple of years. You won Ironman California in 2016. You had, I think you were going into Kona last year as, maybe not the favorite, but one of the guys who had a shot at it. What were your expectations going into that race?
In Kona 2017?
Yeah.
I felt amazing, especially after a fourth place here. It got me good points, and we thought, why don't we do another Ironman, keep the fitness up, and then have a long break in June. And it worked perfectly. I did Brazil. I came second. Obviously, Tim Don was on fire that day. Mm-hmm. And I ran my best ever marathon. I ran my best ever marathon here, which was a 2:47. And then I went to Brazil and I ran a 2:45. And I felt even better running that race than I did in South Africa. And then, I had an awesome break in June. Got back into a 16-week block of training before Kona, and was literally on fire in training. I mean, I was producing amazing times in my training, and I went into Kona. I was ranked 8th, and unfortunately, swim let me down again, it's been like this every year now as a pro. So this year now, I'm really going to put huge emphasis on my swimming. I actually would like to maybe go to Boulder, Colorado, and swim with the guys. Because in Arizona, where I was, where we're based every year, I find it hard to find some pros to train with, especially on the swim, just for them to push you. So the swim, I was swimming by myself. I lost the group just before the turn at the boat. I lost I was on the back and I lost the feet. Mm-hmm. So I swam the whole way back on my own. The guys were behind me by about a minute. Lionel and Lucy caught them as well. So luckily I didn't get, I did get checked in the oval time, but you didn't pass me, thank goodness. And then, got on my bike and when I got on, I knew something's not right, and it was weird because when I was on the Queen K, and there was 5 guys in front of me, and then I couldn't even sit 12 meters behind, which was weird, and I was pushing 280, 290 watts, and I was getting dropped off the back, and then. I mean, loads of guys are coming past me, which, they don't cycle, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but they don't cycle better than me in any other Ironman. So it was quite disheartening. I was like, what is going on? And I've just felt this heavy feeling pedaling the crank. And, unfortunately, something was wrong with bearings. And, it was very hard to push pedal. And I was pretty much like pedaling through sand, actually. And, there was nothing I could do about it, really. I just had to carry on, and I ended up coming off the bike in second last position. And then, I got off the bike and I thought, what, it's what can I do now? I might as well just use it as just go run like you would in training, a hard training run. And that's what I did. I think I ran 256 marathon, which, was very, I obviously didn't have massive expectations for Kona. I wanted to get a top 10. That was definitely, and I think that was definitely possible. But that's one of the things, that's Kona for you, I guess, Right. I mean, Macca, let's look at Macca. He went there 7 times, and I think, or 6 times and have a good race. And on his 7th time, he had a good race, which was his first good race of, 6 tries. So hopefully this year is a much better race for me. I think it's my 8th time going back to Kona, and my 4th time going back as a professional, or actually 5th, 2014. Yeah, 5th year going back as a professional. So let's hope this 5th year is a lot better for me.
Yeah, so never, but still kudos for finishing. I mean, I think a lot of guys with a mechanical on a bike would just call it a day.
Yeah, I always like to finish my Ironmans, and I've put so much effort into the race, and people all watching me and sponsors all supporting me and all that. So I want to finish the race. So that's what I did.
Okay. So how did that disappointment then from that Kona race fuel you for your training and your ambitions for your home race here, Ironman South Africa, which you obviously won? Congratulations for that, by the way.
Thank you so much. Yeah. This win has been it's been an amazing feeling. But so, I mean, I was really depressed actually after Kona, to be honest. Even after the finish line, as you can imagine, I got really sick 2 days after Kona, and I was sick for about a month and a half with bronchitis. I couldn't stop coughing for about a month and a half. I was, came back to South Africa and I was still sick, and I just couldn't shake the cough off. But I was also depressed at the same time, and started training, got back into training, and it was really hard to get motivated again. And I just had to kind of think and have a few days with myself and kind of think on, why did I even start the sport? And, why do I do it? And those are the questions I had to ask myself. And, I love the sport and the challenges and stuff. And obviously there's huge ups and downs. I mean, look at everybody. So there wasn't really much excuse to not train. I just had to get back on the bike, carry on. It was really hard in the beginning because I had actually picked up quite a lot of weight, and I don't know why. I maybe think it was a bit of stress because I wasn't eating unhealthy at all. And so December around the Christmas time, I was still, and then I got better around Christmas time. I was at my wife's parents' house, and I actually got better. I got that fire back in the body again, and I started training, and then I picked up an injury. And that was another setback. So I couldn't do my first race of the season, which I always like to open up with at 70.3 South Africa. Yeah, and so I couldn't even race that race. I had to pull out because I didn't want to injure my hip flexor anymore or tear anything before training for the build for this race, which was probably a blessing in disguise that I actually pulled out. And so that was a hard one. And then I went to Philippines and I had didn't have an amazing race, but I had an incredible bike ride. I came out to swim, 2 minutes back, I came out about a minute back, and I passed the guys at 20 Ks, and Crowley and Tim Burkle and Bradley Weiss was behind me, and I felt amazing. But unfortunately, I lost all my nutrition in the first 500 meters of the bike ride, and both my bottles broke open. And so I couldn't fetch those. And unfortunately, I got only water on the bike course. So and they said it was going to be Powerade, and it wasn't. It was only water that I picked up. So I got to transition for the run totally unfueled and a little bit dehydrated because I missed the aid station at 75 Ks on the bike as well. But nobody saw it. I think only one pro that I spoke to saw it. But just because of the crowd and so many people on that course, it was actually amazing. I've never seen so many people on a bike course in my life. probably millions. So the whole town came out, and it was a good. I just finished. I think I ran a 1:30, but it was a good hit out for this race. I just wanted to open up the engine and get the cylinders firing, which was awesome. I did it last year as well, and it worked perfectly, even with a 10-day block after. We came home, probably had 2 days easy after the flight, and then got back 10-day block, and it was more than enough.
Yeah. It's a bumpy ride, I guess, to that to that well-deserved victory in the end. I mean, you talked about it. It's your 10th participation. Must have wanted that for a long time. How does it feel to have actually won it now? Different from your other Ironman wins, I can imagine.
Yeah, well, a lot different. Just because, like I said, it was a dream that I set myself. I wanted to win here. After Reynard, and Reynard was the last person, South African, to win here. Was an Ironman, and he won 2005, 2010, 2011, and I also wanted that win, and to do it in my hometown, where I live and I train, and I was brought up representing my country. My sponsors here, and super overwhelmed. But worked hard for it. I felt amazing on the day, but I had to play patient because, like I said to a lot of people, the old Carl that used to go crazy on the bike would have gone too hard in the beginning. But just watching other guys like Ben Hoffman in previous years winning this race, he's really patient, and he waits. He uses his run to his strength, and my running's been amazing, so that's what I did. Got on the run and felt absolutely incredible, and just waited, and I just saw the times coming down significantly, huge, and hitting that red carpet. Wow, it was amazing, and for me to be the first South African to win a championship race, that was also awesome. What an awesome feeling. But also, Kona ticket booked early, so that's also great, and no more pressure for the rest of the year.
No, it's good. So are you going to take the same approach as last year? Maybe another Ironman early season before taking a break over summer?
Yeah. So actually, I'm thinking of Ironman championships in Cairns, but we're trying to get a visa organized, and it's pretty difficult. So hopefully I can get to Cairns. If not, I might even do Boulder Ironman, which is also the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So head there, and then I will take a month off. We'll go on holiday, take my wife away for a nice holiday, and then do a good training block in Boulder, and then go back to Arizona for the last 3 weeks, and then head to Kona.
Okay. Well, you mentioned it before that you wanted to maybe start swimming with the guys here in Boulder to try to get to their level.
Yeah.
Why is that so necessary to be able to swim with them? Is it just because you want to look at the competition, see how they're doing? That would give you.
No, I just there's so many good swimmers in Boulder. I mean, Tim Don's there. Ben Hoffman's going there to train. There's so many guys, and I've been there in 2014, and it was so awesome to swim with them. I mean, we were swimming with Corey actually in one of the 50-meter pools, and it was just I don't know. It was just that I felt a little bit like I could push myself a bit more. It wasn't to do with ego or anything. It was just they were better swimmers. And swimming with them just, improved me as well. So it was really good to train with them.
No, okay, that makes sense. All right. Yeah. Well, good luck for the season. We'll see you. One of the top spots in Kona. That would be awesome and also well deserved.
Thanks.
How can people get in touch with you if they want to, Carl?
So I've got a direct message on Twitter. Also Facebook, Instagram. My Twitter name's Kyle Buckingham @KyleBuckingham, same as Instagram, Kyle Buckingham, and my website as well. You can go to kylebuckingham.co.za.
Yeah, okay.
You can contact me through there as well. And also my Facebook pages. I've got a personal profile, and then also my athlete page is Kyle Buckingham Pro.
Yeah, cool. I'll put those links up on the show notes page. Feel free to give some love to your sponsors.
Yeah, massive shout out to my sponsors, Gendermark Automation. They came on board in December and backing me all the way. Velocity Sports Lab, since 2012, absolutely amazing, incredible what they've done. Santini, came on board in 2014. They've been amazing. Their kit's incredible, and On Running Shoes, also since 2014. So, I'm so grateful to have these guys backing me. Nutritech Endurade, my nutrition sponsor here in town. Nelson Mandela Bay, I'm an ambassador for the city to host the 70.3 Ironman World Championships held here on the 1st and the 2nd of September. That's awesome. Who else? I think, what else? And then, I think that's it.
Yeah, cool.
And then I've got, other supporters, Mavic, Ceramic Speed, Blue 70 as well. So these guys have all done an awesome job and, following me.
Yeah, cool. I'll put those links up as well. One final question to finish it off here today. If you could sit on a bench in a nice park there somewhere in your hometown and chat for an hour with anyone from the past or the present, who would it be and why?
For an hour.
Give or take.
To chat to, trying to think now. This is quite a hard one.
Yeah.
Because I have so many idols. Sure. Kelly Slater, surfer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
11-time world champion.
Yeah. No, that would be a cool chat. Well, hopefully you can retire maybe in a couple of years and start surfing again and bump into him on a certain beach in I guess, North Shore, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, cool stuff. Thanks so much for your time, Kyle.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Alright, Junkies, you've reached the end of yet another episode of the Endurance Junkie podcast. Thanks for listening, and thanks to Kyle Buckingham for coming on. Now, the show was brought to you by Precision Hydration. Don't forget to take their free online sweat test at precisionhydration.com to get personalized hydration advice for your next race. And don't forget to use the code JUNKIE to get your first box or a tube of pH for free. You only need to pay for postage. Now, every listen means so much to me, so if you like this interview and think someone else would too, feel free to share it on your own social media channels. That would be awesome and very much appreciated. If you have suggestions for possible future guests, you can always shoot me an email to peter@junkiepodcast.com, and I'll try to make it happen. Alright guys, thanks for listening, and I hope you'll join me next time. Cheers.